Guess who got a new camera? Bike blogger here. Here we go. Check out the new camera here, a GoPro Hero8. It's a year-old camera, but it should give me better quality images on the bike ride. Got it here mounted on my handlebars there, right out front. So I'm going to talk to you about the pluses and minuses, pros and cons in this video about the GoPro Hero8. Stay tuned. GoPro. All right, so let's talk about pros and cons of the GoPro. Let's begin with the cons. Everyone likes to begin with the pros. Let's start with the cons. So number one, you can't disable the touchscreen. You need the touchscreen anyway to change settings, but it would be nice if you could somehow disable it. It auto shuts off after a minute. That's adjustable, but otherwise it stays on for a minute and just wears down your battery. So it'd be nice if there were a little more settings for that, like maybe 30 seconds, 15 seconds till it powers off or something. Another thing that's really odd to me is the screen orientation. With the touchscreen, it's pretty simple. You just rotate the camera and you can adjust the orientation of the stuff, the text and whatnot on the touchscreen. But when you're recording the video stream is always one side, it's always one side up basically. You can't do upside down like you can with the older GoPros. I'm coming from a GoPro Hero3, so keep that in mind as I talk about my pros and cons. So the way the orientation works on the GoPro Hero8 is it uses a metadata tag for rotation. So if you set it to rotate and be upside down, like hanging below your handlebars on your bike, it will have a screen rotation of 180. So that's kind of annoying. You could adjust it in post. The next thing is the GPS antenna. You can actually get GPS data off of your camera and throw up on top of the screen like miles per hour and whatnot, which is kind of cool. Or show your tracks, share it with your friends. But the antenna is next to the record button, which is on the top of the camera. So again, here you go. If you have your camera upside down, the antenna will be pointing toward the ground. So it's hard to get a signal with the GPS antenna pointing to Earth rather than pointing to the sky. So that's a kind of a big letdown. Also, if you leave the camera shut off for a while, there's a time and date thing. It always asks you to re-enter the time and date because I guess the capacitor or whatever inside the camera, it eventually runs out and there's no internal secondary battery in the camera to remember the date and time. So because of that, it'll nag you about updating the date and time. So that's kind of annoying. However, I did do a firmware. I updated the firmware. It's December 2020. And I haven't had that nag screen come up asking me for date and time yet, but I imagine they didn't actually fix it in the last firmware release. But that leads me to firmware. If you're going to update your camera, as you should, do it manually. Download the firmware file off the internet, put it onto the SD card, and then put the SD card in the camera, and then to power on the camera with the battery inside it. And it might use a lot of battery life. I updated the firmware just from one version to the very next sequential version, and it took a long time. It took several minutes. It actually took me almost an hour, I think, because I was having a lot of problems. So another con is the hyper smooth image stabilization. It works really nicely, but it crops your video, and so that makes it basically useless to me. But it will serve a purpose for a lot of people, so that's just a personal preference of my own. So I don't use the hyper smooth image stabilization. The GoPro Hero8 has a very good internal electronic, or whatever you call it, image stabilization compared to the older GoPros, so that's a big plus. But continuing with the cons, the GoPro still splits the files into 4 GB files. Now this is a limitation, I think, of the file system that GoPro uses. I wish there was an option at least that you didn't have to split the files up into 4 GB files. So maybe someday we'll get away from that and get along with newer technology finally. The lens cover is not replaceable on the GoPro Hero 8. We'll get to that in a second about the pros, but that's annoying. So if you scratch up the lens cover, there's nothing you can do. You would have to, I guess, send it in to GoPro and get it replaced. So that's something new with the GoPro Hero 8. So I'm not too worried about that though, because I bought a lot of lens covers for my old GoPro and I never really replaced them. I might have had pretty bad image quality at the micro level, but I never really noticed the difference. If you're gonna be mountain biking or jumping off cliffs or something, I mean, I fell off my bike a lot of times and I never scratched the camera, but that's probably because of how well it was mounted to my bike, and there's my bike over there, and because I don't know, I got lucky. So another con, GoPro Hero 8 does not have a 3.5 millimeter jack or socket or whatever for the external mic again. So that's another thing that the GoPro hasn't had for several, at least a couple of generations of the GoPro, going back to GoPro Hero 2 maybe or something like that. So yeah, in the past you always had to use an adapter cable, but they do have this one thing called a media mod you can get for the GoPro Hero 8, which does have that 3.5 millimeter thing you can plug into. The only problem is using the media mod with the GoPro Hero 8 is that it's not waterproof anymore. You have to take off the battery door. So obviously there's no magic bullet with the GoPro Hero 8, unfortunately. But it is a really nice camera, and I want to talk about some of the pros of the GoPro Hero 8. And that is beginning with the, let's go take a look at it actually. Let's begin with the 4K video. Here's the GoPro Hero 8. I got it plugged in an external battery there. It's recording right now. Hi. Let's wave into the camera there. So the image quality is excellent on the GoPro Hero 8. I gotta try to remember here because there's been a lot of GoPros. The GoPro Hero 8 has 4K video. You can go up to at least 60 FPS. I only do 30 FPS because I like to upload in 30 FPS. Personal preference again. But the image quality looks much better than the old GoPros. Now again, I came from the GoPro Hero 3. The GoPro Hero 3 is an old camera. GoPro Hero 3 is probably, what, 6 years old or something? This camera that I got on this new camera I have on my bike, the GoPro Hero 8, it is, it's a year old now, just a year old, because the GoPro Hero 9 came out. And just an aside, the GoPro Hero 9, I don't know much about it. All I know is it weighs more and it's bulkier. So that's a big disadvantage in my opinion. But anyway, on the GoPro Hero 8 pluses, image quality, excellent. I can go frame by frame with the GoPro Hero 8 and it doesn't look blurry. I'd often get that while in motion on my bike with the GoPro Hero 3. So I think the image quality will be quite a bit better. Of course, if you're viewing these videos on your phone, you're not going to really notice very much because on your phone you're probably doing 720p or something. So what is 4K? 4K is twice the resolution of 1080p. So I'm going to probably try to upload in 4K going forward. I think YouTube likes that. I think a lot of people like that. But if you don't have the monitor for it, you're not going to, you know, I have a basically a 1080p monitor, so 4K, I don't notice a huge difference, but it gives me room to expand, so I love that. Another thing that's really awesome about the GoPro Hero 8, and for the first time ever, I think, is the case on the GoPro Hero 8. Let me show you. There is none. It's all by itself. It's all integrated. The GoPro Hero 8 is waterproof without a case. You can mount it without a case. It's got mounts, those little toes or what do you call them, fingers or whatever on the bottom of the GoPro. They're integrated. They're bolted on. Now I did read a Reddit thread about someone complaining about them ripping out and possibly damaging the thread holes, which would make it basically useless, you know, because they crashed their drone. Drones vibrate a lot, so I think in that case it was probably because the drone was causing a lot of vibration, the screws came loose, and then they crashed at such an angle that it ripped off the toes on the GoPro. So my recommendation there is, if you're really concerned about that, remove the screws, put thread locker on them, then put them back in. I've had frames in the past for the GoPro, and thread locker works amazingly on a bike when you're on these really bumpy roads. Definitely recommend thread locker, like blue Loctite thread locker. So yeah, those are two of my biggest favorite things with this new GoPro Hero 8 is you can mount it and it's waterproof without a case. Now, of course, like I said, you scratch the lens, you're SOL, right? So you can still get a case for the GoPro Hero 8, so that, and the case would have the mounting toes on it. So if something were to happen, get a case. You can still do that. Another thing is quick capture. Hit or miss for me. I don't know. Again, maybe I have there's a lot of talk on the internet about GoPro being poor quality control. So I don't know, maybe I have a bad GoPro, but I have glitches with the quick capture. What is quick capture? Quick capture means when you press the record button on the GoPro, let's come around here. Record button's underneath the GoPro there. When you press the record button, it will just start recording immediately. You know, you don't have to press power and then record. So that's very convenient. But it sometimes works for me, it sometimes doesn't. So it might have to do with me using the external battery pack for the GoPro versus using the internal batteries. Because I've learned that using an external battery is great because I get hours and upon hours of battery life versus the little batteries. And in the summertime, it may prevent it from overheating, especially recording 4K without having a really hot battery running inside the case. That's just my assumption. I don't know for sure. But so quick capture, that's plus. I like that. I don't know if it's unique to the GoPro Hero 8, but it's something in the newer GoPros and something to watch out for. Which also brings me to touch screen. Yes, the GoPro Hero 8, I do love this. It has a touch screen, but even more so than just the screen here is you can actually see your, you can actually, on the screen right here, there you go, you can actually see the, see your frame, your shot, you know, before you start recording. So I've always had to sort of alter that on my bike to try to frame it perfectly. And this is great because with the back screen, basically, I can frame it just perfectly. Again, the older GoPros, they had accessories. You could slap a LCD, I think that's what they call an LCD screen on the back of it. But you know, it wasn't actually integrated into the camera. This one is. That's awesome. That's what you find on newer GoPros. I love that. The last thing that I guess I definitely would call a positive with the GoPro Hero 8 is it is the first GoPro that you can record live with 1080p. The previous GoPro 7, I believe, you could record it was 720p. Now the disadvantage for me, unfortunately, for right now, is I do not have a data plan that I could, use that, unfortunately, because you got to be able to, if you're on the move on a bike, you need to have mobile hotspot capabilities. And what I read is that GoPro says that when you're live streaming with their camera, it will use up to 2 gigabytes of mobile hotspot data per hour. So you wouldn't need a whole lot, but I just switched my phone plan. I'm on a super cheap phone plan now. So I basically don't even use mobile data that much when I'm out and about. I try to get near Wi-Fi or something. That's how I have to cut costs somewhere, so then I can get these new gadgets for my bike. So, and another thing is, I hear the quality with the live stream is kind of choppy at times unless you have a really good connection. So I guess unless you have a really expensive phone plan. Maybe give me some recommendations in the comment section below, of some good phone plans maybe for mobile hotspot. What that is, if you don't know, a hotspot means like basically you're using your phone as your internet connection while you're on the move, and you're feeding it to some other device like GoPro. So then I could live stream to you guys. but I could only do it in 1080p. I couldn't do 4K. And, you know, I wouldn't be able to respond to any comments live. So live streaming might be something I might start looking into. I know I'm way behind a lot of the other YouTubers in terms of doing live stuff, because I've never done it before. Because I've always wanted to do it first on a bike, you know, but that's a lot more difficult than doing it, you know, at home in your basement next to your desktop computer. So, anyway, so that's the pros and the cons of the GoPro. I know I was rambling on there for a bit. We're actually not done yet. We're going to commute to work before the sun goes down. Oh my, this is a weird time that we live in right now. All right, let's do it. Ooh. Okay, all right. Let's get out of here. On our way to work. Oh my. Plop. Nice and easy. Oh, that would be kind of funny. It's like I just roll out of there and then I crash into a car or something. It's like, okay, that's the end of the video. So anyway, we're doing things a little differently now that we got a new GoPro, and I'm trying to invest a little more in my channel because I've been I feel like I've been kind of neglecting it. So we're gonna try some new things. We'll see what it looks like. All right, I don't know what that was about. Oh, the guy honked because there was a guy backing out of the parking space. Oh, whoa, that was a good catch. All right, so this is why you don't leave the bike lane. This is the bike lane right here. It's just really bumpy. It's just, it's like, I don't know. You gotta fix this bike lane. It's torn up. They use the, there we go. Now it's smooth. So yeah, back there I almost fall. So that would have been interesting. My first fall with a new camera. Oh, I fall a lot. I fall too much. Okay, so yeah, it was like I was between what do you call that? Like between you know, near a curb basically. And that's pretty much, or like falling into a rail for a train or a trolley or a streetcar. It's almost impossible to get out of that. And I was actually able to save myself. And I don't know if that was actually experience that saved me or just luck. So let's go this way. There we go. Because what you do in a situation like that, there's not much you can do. Like a lot of situations, like on ice, the recommendation from me at least is you know, just keep going in a straight line as best as you can, and then just slow down slowly. Don't slam on the brakes, just kind of ride it out. That's my best advice for a situation like that or with ice. But really there's almost nothing you can do because you gotta respond like almost instantaneously. Otherwise you're done, you're on the ground. So yeah, that was a little frightening. So we're on our way to work, going in the opposite direction of my work, of course. Bike commuting to work. Let me keep it interesting here. Ugh. Woo-wee. So yeah, pros and cons of the new GoPro Hero8. I think I actually had more cons than I did pros. And I must say, when I was setting up the GoPro Hero8, I almost gave up on it, honestly, because I was having so many issues. Because the first thing I did, of course, the first thing you should always do when you get a new electronic device is update the firmware. Make sure you have the latest version, because you might have an old batch of GoPro or whatever, and compared to, you know, some other store or something, and so you might be missing features, bug fixes, etc. You know, hardware is just like just Just like software, there's always bug fixes because nothing's ever released perfectly. Oh man, I just missed it. I'll wait for these people to pass. We'll cross the road. It's unfortunate because there's people to the left there, but not really many coming from the right. Oh shucks, I guess maybe after these couple guys. I'm watching that car just about to pull out of a driveway to my right. Okay, well that didn't really work, did it? Okay, let's go up this way. Let's get into the turning lane. All right. Woo-wee. Okay. Thing is, I'm near the freeway, so there's just a lot of traffic. All right. All right. So I'm in Richmond Heights, Missouri right now. St. Louis, Missouri, basically. Oh, my nose. I was gonna do this video, kind of start my video at a different park, but I got over there and I was like, oh, there's a bunch of people using the picnic benches. So like, oh great, I'll go find another park then. So I did, and there was nobody at that park. It's kind of funny. Up, up. Ooh-wee. Let this guy go. Oh, that was nice of him. He gave me like a full lane on my side. Some people do that, some people just don't. I'm kind of split on that, like what motorists should do. Instinct tells me move as far away from me as possible. Just get out of my way. However, it's dangerous for the other driver, the motorist, if they're driving in the wrong lane of traffic. So they could cause an accident that way too. Like everything, you know, it's always a balance, especially if you don't have bike lanes or bike paths or something. Because most people aren't as fast as me on a bike. Let's go this way. Oh my. So yeah, actually I guess another con of the GoPro Hero8, although this is like with most GoPros nowadays, I think, is the SD card. And that was part of my problem, I think. You have to have a newer SD card for the GoPro Hero8. Now, maybe that has something to do with 4K. I don't know, but the SD card I have from my GoPro Hero3, starting from a stop, single spade, was actually compatible up till, let's let this guy go, up till the GoPro Hero7. So it's like, oh man. I needed to buy a new SD card is basically what it came down to. So that stinks. Oh well. I'm gonna turn around here. Let's go this way. Let's hurry it up. Let's go this way. That guy's still waiting at the light. So we'll just kind of cut around here. Past the hospital. I don't want dropping off patients right now because they're full. Crazy times we live in. So here's like some cobblestone, and you know, GoPro's pretty stable. GoPro Hero8. So that's kind of nice. Woo. Gonna cut through the garage. Okay. Nice and easy. Now there's another guy waiting to make a right. I traded one guy for another. Alrighty. People turning left there, and I don't want to get in their way, really. Okay, there we go. I mean, this is almost a lane right here, except it's actually a parking lane, because they got that road diet thing there or whatever for pedestrians. Oh my. Yeah, it's getting colder. It's about 50 Fahrenheit right now, and it's getting cold as the winter moves in. Still technically autumn, even though well, I guess the trees still have some leaves on them. Let's make a right here. So, yeah, this is my first video with the GoPro Hero 8. Does no one have the green light? What is this? Okay, there you go. Da-da-da-dee. Now traffic just keeps coming, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop the sidewalk here. I'm going to go past the High Point drive-in. So whose speed limit is that over there? I don't know, on the speed limit sign. Probably the cars. I don't know if the sign registers people on the right of the sign. So here's a little alleyway. We're just going to spin it back around. Just basically killing time waiting for the light to change for us. Okay, that's easy. Okay, sometimes I see people going the wrong way down this road. Okie dokie. Waiting for traffic. There's one more guy. One more girl. I'm gonna get behind the SUV here. Queue up. Let's queue up. There we go. Perfect timing. That was kind of funny. Perfect timing. Yeah, here's another bike lane, but it's a lot more smooth than the bike lane earlier. Oh man, that was dangerous. Should probably tell the city about that. That's the thing about St. Louis, Missouri. There's, oh man, in the county there's like 90 different cities, little tiny fiefdoms. Oy. All right, just gonna head down here a little bit. So I make my way to work today. Actually, I could have gone back through there. I think there's another street I can cut down. Some of these streets are one way in the city, so I can only go down certain streets legally. Legally. All right. Woo. Sure are a lot of UPS trucks out. Yeah, this is one way. A lot of UPS trucks out and about. Must be that time of year. People bought all their Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff, and it's getting delivered now. Oh. Yeah, so I got this GoPro not long ago. From my experience over the years, there aren't very good deals, you know, around the holidays. There might be after the holidays, but you know, like, yeah, I should go this way. But like Cyber Monday and Black Friday, I'm not sure when the GoPro Hero 8 actually, let's go this way. When the GoPro Hero 8 actually went down in price, but I think the GoPro Hero 8 is like $300 or $350, whereas the GoPro Hero 9, which just came out like a month ago, is, I don't know, $500, so half a grand. I make it last though. You know, if I can get this camera to last me you know, at least 3 years, if not, you know, another 5 years like the last camera. You know, that's an average of what, $100 per year. So, you know, for a more established YouTuber, that's probably not a bad deal, I guess. I don't know. You know, I'm not very popular compared to like some other YouTubers, but that's because I'm doing a very niche thing. And you know, I like to spend money on bike stuff, honestly. I mean, can you blame me? I'd rather buy more bike stuff than AV equipment. Up. Speed bump. Speed hump. Speed hump. Hump. Woo-wee. So yeah, the front view you're seeing here, straight out of the bike, this is the GoPro Hero8. Now I guess I should tell you what you're actually looking at, right? Technically speaking. So, as long as, let's go straight. As long as YouTube doesn't horribly compress my video, and as long as I don't horribly render it on my desktop computer, it should look pretty good. It's 4K. Again, if your browser and your monitor, I guess, and your hardware and your computer can handle it. Once more, on the mobile phone, I think you're limited to like 720 or 1080p, or maybe I just am on my phone. But I do know, that's one way, I gotta go straight here. I do know that YouTube has actually been limiting data, I guess downloading or whatever, in recent months on mobile devices. So I don't know if that's probably not gonna be permanent. Wait, this is one way. Nice and easy. All right, we're actually gonna go straight, I think. I was gonna go left, but let's go straight. So what you're looking at is 4K video, which again, I think is basically double the resolution of 1080p. Still 30 frames per second, which is good for low light, or even 24 frames would probably be better. It's kind of like movie sort of frame rate. I can't really slow it down. Let's go straight. That was good timing. I can't really slow it down because it's 30 frames per second. So if I want to do like a slow-mo, it'd look kind of weird. It wouldn't look nice and smooth because I'm not doing 60 or 120 frames per second. But to be able to do that, you need a lot of light, or you need a big, you know, image sensor on your camera. The GoPro are notorious in all action cams because they're supposed to be small, compact, waterproof, have little tiny sensors, so they can only gather so much light. So if you're like in a shady area like here in a back alley, or if you're in the woods on a mountain bike, you know, you can have problems. Oh my gosh, it's bumpy. Like right here. Of course, the way you can try to correct that is edit it in post. That means after you record it, you run it through another program, you color correct, you adjust the contrast and whatever. But really, if you want good quality video, you know, you need the best camera possible. But there's other things to consider, like with the GoPro, which I love about it. It's lightweight, it's small, it's waterproof. It has a very good, simple mounting system with screws or bolts, which I love that. Simple. I like simple. Which is why I don't use the Hyper Boost or Hyper, whatever it's called. So I just like to keep it simple. Let's go up this way. All right. So what else are you looking at in the screen? So I have the GoPro set to high bit rate. What does that mean? That means basically I'm trying to get the biggest file possible, the most to work with. So the highest quality the camera can possibly do. If you're a tech geek, you'll know that's pretty good quality. You're not going to see that on YouTube, but you know, it's just kind of it's kind of the name of the game, really. Let me go left here, or down this way, because YouTube's going to recompress everything, re-encode, transcode, whatever you call it, into their own format, basically. So, you know, you're limited there. So it may look really good on my computer at home, but once I upload it, it may not look as good. So I apologize for that. The only way you could actually really see the full quality is if, you know, I uploaded the videos to, like, I don't know, Dropbox or something, and shared the raw footage with you. But you don't really need that. You don't need that, because it's hard to even tell with the naked eye. But I mean, you know, if you have really good vision, like better than 20/20 vision, I don't know, maybe you would notice subtle details. Or I think it really just comes down to your monitor, the monitor you're using for your computer. Or if you have a really good smartphone screen. You're right, yeah. Did we see these guys earlier? I think I saw this guy earlier. He was at the intersection, wasn't he? Yeah. All right, I just keep following them through all of these stop signs. There's like a lot of stop signs on this road on the way to work, which is nice because it slows traffic down. But I hate stop signs. Everyone hates stop signs, right? Because it says exactly what you don't want to be doing when you're in a vehicle. You want to go. You don't want to stop. GoPro, go. Oh, I just thought of that right now. Oh, so good. That's so good. So good, bike blogger. So good. So what else? Obviously, this is kind of a low light situation, so the image quality ain't gonna be as good as when I'm not in the shadows. I have my my color template or whatever set on the GoPro to flat. GoPro has its own template. I find that to be too dark though. It does a lot of contrast and it can look kind of good, but everything just looks kind of dark, in my opinion, in my experience. And I have limited experience with this camera, so I'm learning. I'm learning as fast as I can. Okay, gotta stop here. I see cyclists rolling right through the stop sign, and I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, you know, I guess barreling through the stop sign. That was a kind of a poor stop on my part right there, but you know, I don't want to lose all my momentum here. I'm going pretty fast right now, I think. I mean, oh, look at all those cars down there. That's a lot of cars. I don't want to really wait behind all of them. I think I'm gonna turn off the road here in a second, go down one of the side streets. Oh yeah, side streets. Okay. Now, this is the side street I like to use a lot, right here before the intersection, although it is just going green. That's okay. Let's cut down this way. There we go. They finally repaved this street right here, and I love that. Because it had not been repaved for a long time. This motorcycle. Big motorcycle. So, I don't know if that was a Harley or not. So yeah, what else does there say, you know? Please leave your tips and tricks below. What do you think of this video? If you like what you see, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Encourage me to do more videos like these. I am stoked. I am a little stoked. Obviously, you can tell in my voice. It's fun, you know, to have a new toy to play around with. A camera's a tool. It doesn't provide good content per se. It's just a tool. So we got to use it right. We got to use it well. And we'll have some great video. Thanks for watching. Oh my gosh, there's the sun. We'll see you next time. on the Bike Blogger channel. At work now. So, whew. Let's not fall down. Let's not fall down.